The world's oldest known wild bird is Wisdom, a Laysan albatross. In 2025, at the age of at least 74, Wisdom returned to her home on the Midway Atoll National Wildlife Refuge and laid an egg. Biologists remarked on her fitness and gave her egg a 70 to 80% chance of hatching. The Laysan albatross's extraordinary longevity, increasing reproductive success with age, high prevalence of same sex pairings, and general, goofiness are why I decided to pursue this species for my reproductive ecology project. The Laysan albatross is a large seabird present in the North Pacific Ocean. They are pelagic, spending most of their lives offshore, only returning to land to breed. Sometimes they will spend many years at sea before returning to their homeland. They breed mainly on the Hawaiian Islands. This bird is large with blackish brown back and upper wings. Their underwings are white with black margins. Like all albatrosses, they are well known for being able to soar for days on end, seldomly flapping their wings. Their diet consists of squid, fish, and crustaceans. They are surface feeders, eating mainly at night when prey is plentiful. They are preyed upon by tiger sharks, and they're listed as a vulnerable species and are protected under the U.S. Migratory Bird Act. Fledging, which is the time when young birds transition from living in the nest to functioning individually, is a major area of life transition. Feather growth and wing length are a primary predictor of fledging time in most bird species. The Laysan albatross experiences a rather abrupt transition to independence shortly after fasting for days to weeks and losing body mass. As the albatross departs its nest for its first flight, individuals are required to forage on their own. The two primary factors that affect timing of fledging in the Laysan albatross include wing disc loading and plasma-free corticosterone levels. Physiological changes in glucocorticoid hormones affect timing of fledging, suggesting that higher free plasma levels result in individuals fledging sooner than those with lower levels. The survival year during their first year after fledging is about 75.7%. Most individuals forage at sea nonstop for about 3 to 5 years, except some are known to return in as little as 1 year, though these cases are rare. Sexual dimorphism in the Laysan albatross is present, although it's much less evident than other albatross species such as the wandering albatross. Differences between the sexes include tarsus length, cranial width, bill height, and bill length. Laysan albatrosses are monogamous, forming lifelong pairings. They're especially well known for their elaborate mating dances and displays, as well as the clicking of their bills together. One of the distinctive elements in the Laysan albatross's reproductive life cycle is their extended period before their first breeding cycle. The average age of first breeding is 8.5 years, with recruitment probability peaking between the ages of 9 and 20. They will often form their lifetime pair bond years before they reproduce for the first time. This extended period before their first reproduction contributes to the extraordinarily long life of seabirds as well as their extended reproductive age. A lot of times the birds that breed sooner in life actually senesce and die sooner than those who reproduced later in their life. Similar to how Laysan albatrosses exhibit an extended period before their first breeding, the species also experiences a prolonged incubation period compared to smaller bird species, with a length of around 65 days. Albatross embryos develop more slowly, and developmental timing differs among specific anatomical features. Several anatomical characteristics that are unique to the species include a curled tail and a cloacal bulge. After the egg is laid, both parents take turns incubating and caring for the young. The parents alter their behavior after reproduction, shifting their energy expenditures during egg incubation and chick rearing. These behavioral changes are equal in both sexes. They will modify their foraging effort to accommodate the constraints of energy and time during their breeding period. After foraging, Laysan albatrosses feed their young through regurgitation. A section of the albatross's gut distills food into a nutrient-rich concentrate. The chick receives a mix of fish, squid, and octopus lumps that can keep the chick fed for several days. The extended incubation period of Laysan albatrosses results in low reproductive output, high parental investment, and delayed maturation. Individuals will typically lay a single egg once every year or once every 2 years. The parents are in tune with each other, altering their forage and behavioral habits based on what the other parent is or isn't able to provide. While albatrosses also mate for life, they sometimes will reevaluate a mate if that mate is not contributing equally toward raising the young in order to increase reproductive success throughout the lifespan. Laysan albatrosses have also shown willingness to adopt and raise foster eggs. Scientists have conducted conservation efforts to relocate eggs located in an area with high bird aircraft strike risk. In these foster nests, hatching rate was 53%, fledging rate was 72%, and overall reproductive success was 38%, which is only slightly lower than the natural eggs at that same site. We'll get into aging in a moment, but it's important to note here that fledging and survival rates in chicks are higher in those who have older parents than those who have younger parents. The parents already having experience with breeding is thought to be a reason for this benefit. Another possible benefit is that, due to older age, older individuals place more importance and effort on raising their young. Something very interesting about the Laysan albatross is that it exhibits an unusually high prevalence of same-sex pairings, with 31% of pairs on Oahu being female-female. While at first this could seem disadvantageous from an evolutionary and reproductive standpoint, it actually ends up being a very important reproductive strategy for the species. After these pairs form their bonds, they typically adopt a pattern of individuals switching off who lays the egg each year. These eggs are then fertilized by a male sperm donor, usually an individual in a neighboring nest who is already paired with a lifelong mate. So, why does this happen? On many colonies, same-sex pairings seem to be an adaptive response to skewed sex ratios. While breeding outcomes are poorer than male-female pairings over a lifespan, they're better than not being in a pair at all. After all, the intensity of chick rearing and the extended period of chick rearing make it so that single parenthood is not possible for the Laysan albatross. Despite poorer hatching rates, fledging rates are comparable to male-female pairings, indicating similar ability to care for and rear offspring. Laysan albatrosses are adapting to these dynamic social conditions in order to successfully reproduce. Even if the sex skew evens out, female-female pairs will likely stay with their partner for the rest of their life. Birds, in general, experience great longevity. Most members of the class live 2 to 3 times longer than mammals of a similar size. High metabolism, increased body temperature, and lower sensitivity to insulin fluctuations are thought to be reasons for this phenomenon. Bird migration also requires extraordinary fitness, resulting in physiological benefits. Due to its prolonged periods of flying, soaring, and living at sea, the Laysan albatross requires exceptionally high physical performance in order to thrive and survive. Seabirds in particular are found to have an even longer lifespan size ratio than other birds, exhibiting many unusual characteristics among an already long-lived class. While some birds experience reproductive decline with age, seabirds actually exhibit increased reproductive success with age. This is characterized by the delayed onset of breeding, small number of eggs laid, and incredible parental investment. Hummingbirds represent a similar example of extraordinary lifespan and delayed onset of reproductive age. Laysan albatrosses typically have a lifespan of 12 to 51 years, with no differences between the sexes with regard to how long they live. Although we know that Wisdom continues to thrive in her very old age of at least 74 years old. Laysan albatrosses show little change in their reproductive endocrinology and immune function as they age. This suggests an intriguing idea that they may compensate for declining physiological condition with increases in reproductive effort. Changing climate and ocean conditions as a result of human activity are influencing the foraging behavior of Laysan albatrosses. Longer foraging trips during the breeding period were associated with lower reproductive success, suggesting increased travel costs can negatively affect chick survival. Examining environmental variables such as sea surface temperature and location of the transition zone chlorophyll front provide a clear picture of this changing behavior. Albatrosses travel farther and spend more time foraging during La Nina conditions, and reproductive success declines with high sea surface temperature and other variables directly related to climate change. Sea level rise and storms can also threaten low-lying areas where many Laysan albatross choose to nest. Bird aircraft strikes are also a big threat to the species. However, some good news is that conservation projects are undergoing to relocate nests in vulnerable areas. And thankfully, these relocated nests show a 92% chance of success. I hope you've enjoyed learning about this amazing species with me. Its unusual traits of increased reproductive success with age, longevity, use of same sex pairing as a reproductive strategy, as well as wisdom thriving as the oldest known wild bird, make this species truly extraordinary. Keep an eye out for them if you're ever sailing in the North Pacific Ocean or if you're vacationing in Hawaii. Thank you so much for watching my project.